The good thing about science is that it's true whether or not you believe in it. For me, I am driven by two main philosophies: know more today about the world than I knew yesterday, and lessen the suffering of others. You'd be surprised how far that gets you. We are all connected to each other biologically, to the earth chemically, to the rest of the universe atomically. We spend the first year of a child's life teaching it to walk and talk, and the rest of its life to shut up and sit down. There's something wrong there. I'm curious that we spend more time congratulating people who have succeeded than encouraging people who have not. The more I learn about the universe, the less convinced I am that there is any sort of benevolent force that has anything to do with it at all. There is no shame in not knowing. The problem arises when irrational thought and attendant behavior fill the vacuum left by ignorance. My view is that if your philosophy is not unsettled daily, then you are blind to all the universe has to offer. Not only do we live among the stars live within us. After all, what nobler thought can one cherish than that the universe lives within us all? The universe is under no obligation to make sense to you. There's as many atoms in a single molecule of your DNA as there are stars in the typical galaxy. We are, each of us, a little universe. When scientifically investigating the natural world, the only thing worse than a blind believer is a seeing denier. When ignorance lurks, so too do the frontiers of discovery and imagination. Ignorance is a virus. Once it starts spreading, it can only be cured by reason. For the sake of humanity, we must be that cure. What is true for life itself is no less true for the universe. Knowing where you came from is no less important than knowing where you are going. When students cheat on exams, it's because our school system values grades more than students value learning. The remarkable feature of physical laws is that they apply everywhere, whether or not you choose to believe in them. After the laws of physics, everything else is opinion. Scientific inquiry shouldn't stop just because a reasonable explanation has apparently been found. If you need to invoke your academic pedigree or job title for people to believe what you say, then you need a better argument. I love the smell of the universe in the morning. God is an ever-receding pocket of scientific ignorance that's getting smaller and smaller and smaller as time moves on. Doing what has never been done before is intellectually seductive, whether or not we deem it practical. Some of the greatest poetry is revealing to the reader the beauty in something that was so simple you had taken it for granted. Science is a philosophy of discovery. Intelligent design is a philosophy of ignorance. Every living thing is a masterpiece, written by nature and edited by evolution. Science needs the light of free expression to flourish. It depends on the fearless questioning of authority and the open exchange of ideas. The more of us that feel the universe, the better off we will be in this world. When your reasons for believing something are justified ad hoc, you are left susceptible to further discoveries undermining the rationale for that belief. Science literacy is an important part of what it is to be an informed citizen of society. Let's get China to leak a memo that says they want to build military bases on Mars. Would be on Mars in 12 months. Practically every food you buy in a store for consumption by humans is genetically modified food. There are no wild, seedless watermelons. There's no wild cows. On Venus, you could cook a 16-inch pepperoni pizza in 7 seconds, just by holding it out to the air. Yes, I did the math. It's okay not to know all the answers. It's better to admit our ignorance than to believe answers that might be wrong. Pretending to know everything closes the door to finding out what's really there. There's no shame in admitting what you don't know. The only shame is pretending you know all the answers. It is the destiny of stars to collapse. Without a doubt, the most spectacular way to die in space is to fall into a black hole. I get enormous satisfaction from knowing I'm doing something for society. We live in a cosmic speck of dust, orbiting a mediocre star in the far suburbs of a common sort of galaxy, among 100 billion galaxies in the universe. Curious fact that those who never fail are also those who never truly succeed. The options available to a creative person are ever limited by the choices offered by a philosopher. If we don't act, we're just standing still. And the act of standing still is the same as moving backwards when everyone else is in motion all around us, around the world. The only people who should have their head examined are those who never ask questions. I look forward to the day when the solar system becomes our collective backyard, explored not only with robots, but with the mind, body, and soul of our species. It's okay not to know all the answers. It's better to admit our ignorance than to believe answers that might be wrong. Pretending to know everything closes the door to finding out what's already there. And behold the greatest mystery of them all. An unopened can of Diet Pepsi floats in water, while an unopened can of regular Pepsi sinks. A bullet fired level from a gun will hit ground at the same time as a bullet dropped from the same height. Do the physics. Science literacy is less about what you know and more about how your brain is wired for asking questions. The universe has never made one of anything, so why would there even be one of itself? To declare that Earth must be the only planet in the universe with life would be inexcusably big-headed of us. Let there be no doubt, as they are currently practiced, there is no common ground between science and religion. The stated authority of 1,000 is not worth the humble reasoning of a single individual. The day gets about 1 second longer every 67,000 years. If the world is something you accept rather than interpret, then you're susceptible to the influence of charismatic idiots. The less evidence we have for what we believe is certain, the more violently we defend beliefs against those who don't agree.